Okay, so you're thinking about diving into the world of online dating. Well, buckle up, because it can be a wild ride.
It really is. What's amazing to me is just how many people are using social media and dating apps these days to meet people.
Right. It's like everyone's on there.
They are. I guess it's just so much more convenient than, trying to meet someone in person. Less pressure, too.
Yeah, totally. You can scope out potential dates from, like, the comfort of your couch,
Yeah.
and for people in long-distance relationships, it can be a lifesaver, keeping that connection strong.
For sure. But, and here's the catch. Sometimes that convenience can be a double-edged sword.
Oh, tell me about it. How do you know if someone is being genuine or just, like, putting on a show online?
Exactly. And the thing is, it's so easy to get caught up in the excitement of it all. Those profiles, the pictures, the witty bios. It can be hard to separate fact from fiction.
Seriously, like everyone's on their best behavior online, right?
Yeah.
You see those profiles with like the perfect pictures, the amazing vacations, the hobbies. It's easy to get swept up in the fantasy.
Right. And we're all guilty of it. It's like we're hardwired to put our best foot forward, especially in those early stages of, getting to know someone.
Exactly. But how do you know when someone's presenting a carefully curated version of themselves versus like who they really are?
That's the million-dollar question. And that's where being aware of those red flags is so crucial.
Red flags. Okay, so like what should people be looking out for? Give us the inside scoop.
Well, first and foremost, if your gut is telling you something off, listen to it. Don't ignore those instincts.
Right, trust your gut. But besides that, what are some like specific things that should send alarm bells ringing? Because I think when you're, kind of caught up in those early stages of attraction, it's easy to overlook things.
Absolutely. A big one, and this might seem obvious, but if someone starts asking you for money, especially early on, major red flag.
Oh, absolutely. Like, it's way too soon to be hitting someone up for a loan.
Yeah. Right. No matter how convincing their story is, maybe a sob story about a sick relative or some can't-miss investment opportunity, be very wary of anyone asking for money, especially if you haven't met them in person.
And especially if they're asking for gift cards or wire transfers, that's like scammer 101.
Definitely. And another thing, be cautious if they always have an excuse for why they can't meet up in person or even video chat. A genuine connection will want to move beyond the screen eventually.
Exactly. Speaking of things that seem too good to be true, let's talk about those crazy romance scams.
Oh man, those are something else.
Some of the stories are wilder than fiction.
I know. And what's scary is how these scammers exploit people's vulnerabilities, Loneliness, the desire for connection, financial insecurity. It's really sad.
It is. It's awful. And they're good at it, creating these elaborate backstories, often using stolen photos and identities.
It's like they're working from a script, designed to pull at your heartstrings. And sadly, people fall for it every day.
It's true. And those profiles that seem too good to be true, those could be a huge red flag, too. I mean, if their profile reads like a romance novel, they might be crafting an image, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Super important point. Like, watch out for profiles with, those overly flattering photos, vague descriptions. Maybe they're declaring their undying love for you way too soon.
Right. Slow your roll, Romeo. We haven't even had coffee yet.
Exactly. Take it slow, trust your gut, and remember, a genuine connection is going to be there, even if you take your time to be sure.
That's so true. And speaking of being misled, can we talk about social media for a sec? I feel like it can really bring out the jealousy, the insecurity, even in relationships that are going fine.
Oh, absolutely. Social media can be a breeding ground for comparison and self-doubt.
Seriously. Like, you see everyone else's highlight reel romantic vacations, those picture-perfect families. It's easy to start feeling like your own relationship is, like, falling short.
Totally. And then you get caught in that trap of scrolling through your partner's feed, right? Analyzing every comment, every photo.
Oh my gosh, yes. It's like you're looking for evidence to confirm your worst fears.
Exactly. And it's so important to remember that what we see on social media, it's often just a highlight reel. It's not real life.
Yeah.
People tend to showcase the good times, the successes.
So true. Everyone's trying to win the best relationship award on Instagram or whatever. It's easy to feel like you don't measure up, even if your relationship is perfectly happy offline.
Exactly. And that's where the jealousy and insecurity can really take hold. You start questioning everything.
And then it just becomes this like vicious cycle, right? You see something that makes you feel a little insecure, so you scroll even more, looking for reassurance, but it only makes you feel worse.
100%. It's like a trap.
Yeah.
Breaking free requires a conscious effort to focus on your own relationship, on your own happiness. And remembering that social media, well, It can be a very distorted mirror.
It's so easy to get caught up in that comparison game, especially when you're bombarded with those picture-perfect moments.
Tell me about it. It's exhausting. And it's not just about, feeling jealous of other couples. Sometimes social media can make you feel like you have to present a certain image of your own relationship, even if it's not, the whole truth.
Oh, absolutely. Like you had to post those lovey-dovey photos and anniversary messages, even if you're like fighting offline.
Exactly. You end up living for the airgram instead of for yourself and your partner.
Right. So then what happens when things actually do go south? Breakups are messy enough as it is, but social media just adds a whole other layer of like,
Yes, it
complication.
really does. Suddenly it's like, do you delete the photos? Do you unfollow them? What about those dreaded subtweets? It's a minefield.
It's like you have to manage your online presence on top of like actual heartbreak.
Right. And then there's the temptation to check up on them, see who they're with, what they're doing. It's like social media gives you this window into their life, even when you know you should probably look away.
Ugh, it's the worst.
Oh.
Any advice for navigating breakups in the age of social media? Asking for a friend.
Well, honestly, sometimes the best thing you can do is just take a break from social media altogether. Just give yourself some space to heal, to process everything, without feeling the pressure to like curate your online persona.
That makes total sense. Like, put on those social media blinders for a while and just focus on you.
Exactly. And when you do decide to go back online, be really mindful of what you're looking at, how it makes you feel. Maybe unfollow accounts that trigger those feelings of, jealousy or insecurity. And yeah, that might even mean your ex's best friend's cousin.
Okay, that's hilarious, but also so true. It's about creating healthy boundaries online.
100%. And remember, it's okay to keep your relationship status private. You don't have to share everything with the world. Prioritize real life connections.
Couldn't agree more. At the end of the day, a real-life hug is way better than 1,000 likes.
A million times. And, having a real conversation with someone you trust face to face, that's going to be more comforting, more supportive than like endlessly scrolling through those perfectly filtered photos.
So to wrap up our deep dive into online dating and relationships, the big takeaway is proceed with caution, trust your gut, be open and honest in your relationships, and remember that social media is just one tiny piece of the puzzle, not the whole picture.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And on that note, here's something to think about. How would taking even a small step back from social media allow you to connect more deeply with yourself and the people you care about most? I'll leave you with that thought. Until next time.